Admiral Kethvar stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the stars through the massive viewing window. His forearms were crossed behind his back in the traditional Zephyrian pose of authority. The scales on his neck glowed a soft blue, showing his calm confidence. Around him, his officers worked at their stations with quiet efficiency. "Admiral," called his communications officer, "we are receiving the human response to our tribute demand." Kethvar turned his large yellow eyes toward the officer. "Put it on the main screen." A human face appeared on the display. The creature looked so strange to Zephyrian eyes. Only 2 arms, smooth pink skin, and those tiny eyes. The human was middle-aged by their standards, with gray hair and a serious expression. "I am President Chen of the United Human Colonies," the human said. "We have received your demand for tribute. Our answer is no. We will not pay tribute to your empire. We will not become your subjects. We suggest you find other systems to bother." The message ended. Silence filled the bridge. Kethvar's neck scales turned red with anger. In 300 years of service, no species had ever refused a tribute demand so simply. Most aliens begged for mercy or tried to negotiate. This human had spoken as if the mighty Zephyrian Empire was nothing more than a minor annoyance. "Sir," his tactical officer said carefully, "our intelligence reports show that humans have only recently developed faster-than-light travel. Their weapons are primitive compared to ours. Their ships are small and weak." Kethvar nodded. The reports were clear. Humans had spread to maybe 20 star systems. They had no great fleets, no planet-destroying weapons, no advanced shields. By all measures, they were a young and weak species that should have been grateful for the Empire's protection. "How many ships do we have in this fleet?" Kethvar asked. 200 warships, Admiral. Enough to destroy their entire space force 10 times over." The Admiral's scales returned to their normal blue color. "This would be simple. A few destroyed colonies, maybe one of their larger worlds, burned from orbit, and the humans would surrender like all the others. Then they would serve the Empire faithfully for generations. Set course for the human colony of Kepler Station," he ordered. "We'll start there. 1 destroyed colony should be enough to make them see reason." The massive Zephyrian fleet moved through space like a school of deadly fish. Their ships were beautiful and terrible, long, curved vessels that looked like sea creatures from their homeworld. Each ship carried enough firepower to level a continent. 3 days later, they arrived at Kepler Station. The human colony orbited a small red star, a modest settlement of maybe 50,000 people, perfect for sending a message. "Admiral," the sensor officer reported, "we're detecting human ships, 12 vessels, all small. They're moving to intercept us." Kethvar almost laughed. 12 tiny ships against his massive fleet? Did these humans have no sense at all? "Open a channel to their ships," he ordered. A new human face appeared on screen. This one was younger, wearing what looked like a military uniform. The human's eyes were cold and focused. "I am Captain Martinez of the Human Defense Force," the human said. "You are in violation of human space. Turn around and leave immediately." "I am Admiral Kethvar of the Zephyrian Imperial Navy," Kethvar replied. "We are here to collect tribute from your species. Surrender now and your colony will be spared." The human captain stared at him for a long moment. Then something strange happened. The human smiled. But it wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile a predator might make. "Admiral," Captain Martinez said slowly, "you've made a very big mistake. You should have stayed home." The channel closed. Kethvar stared at the blank screen, confused by the human's response. What could 12 small ships possibly do against his fleet? "All ships prepare for battle," he ordered. "Destroy their vessels, then begin bombardment of the colony." The battle began moments later. The human ships moved faster than expected, darting between the larger Zephyrian vessels like insects. Their weapons were indeed weaker, but they used them in ways that surprised the Imperial forces. Instead of trying to fight the warships directly, the humans went after support vessels. They targeted supply ships, communication relays, and command centers. When a Zephyrian ship was damaged, human fighters would swarm it, making sure it could never be repaired. "Sir," the tactical officer called out, "they're not fighting like any species we've encountered. They're not trying to win a clean victory. They're trying to make sure we can't function at all." Kethvar watched as one of his supply ships exploded. The humans had filled it with their fighters, who had somehow gotten inside and detonated the fuel stores. It was a suicide attack, something most civilized species considered barbaric. "No matter," he said. "Continue the attack." Their ships are too small to cause serious damage. But as the battle continued, Kethvar began to feel uneasy. Yes, his fleet was winning. The human ships were being destroyed one by one. But the humans weren't retreating. They weren't asking for mercy. They kept fighting until their ships were completely destroyed, taking as many Zephyrians with them as possible. The last human ship was a small fighter that had lost its weapons. Instead of surrendering, the pilot flew directly into the bridge of a Zephyrian cruiser. Both ships exploded in a ball of fire. All human vessels destroyed, Admiral, the tactical officer reported. We can begin bombardment of the colony. Kethvar nodded, but something bothered him about the battle. The humans had fought like they expected to die, not like warriors seeking glory, but like they were buying time for something else. Begin bombardment, he ordered. The Zephyrian fleet turned its weapons on Kepler Station. The colony's shields held for a few minutes, then collapsed under the massive firepower. The orbital platforms were destroyed first, then the cities on the planet's surface. It took 6 hours to completely destroy the colony. 50,000 humans died. The planet's surface was left burning and lifeless. Admiral, the communications officer called. We're receiving a transmission from human space. It's being broadcast on all frequencies. We put it on screen. President Chen appeared again, but this time his expression was different. The calm politeness was gone. His eyes burned with a cold fury that made Kethvar's scales crawl. Admiral Kethvar, the human said, you have just killed 50,000 innocent people. You have made a choice that your species will regret for whatever time it has left. We gave you a chance to leave peacefully. You chose war instead. So be it. The human leaned forward, and when he spoke again, his voice was barely above a whisper. You wanted to see what humans do when threatened? Now you'll learn. We don't just fight back, Admiral. We don't just defend ourselves. When someone tries to destroy us, we erase them completely. Every ship, every world, every trace of their existence. You wanted war with humanity? You've got it. And when we're done, no one will remember that your empire ever existed. The transmission ended. Kethvar stared at the blank screen, a chill running through his body despite the warm bridge air. Sir, his communications officer said nervously, we're detecting massive energy readings from human space. Hundreds of ships are moving toward our territory. Large ships, Admiral, much larger than anything in our intelligence reports. Kethvar felt his stomach drop. What had they missed? What had the humans been hiding? Set course for home, he ordered. Full speed. And send a message to Imperial Command. Tell them the humans are not what we thought they were. As his fleet fled through space, Admiral Kethvar couldn't shake the feeling that he had just started something terrible. Something that would consume them all. High Admiral Zekthara read the report from Kethvar's fleet for the third time. Her 6 eyes moved across the datapad while her tentacles drummed nervously against her command chair. The bridge of the Imperial command ship was quiet except for the soft humming of the life support systems. Communications, she called to her officer. Bring up the battle recordings from Kepler Station again. The main screen lit up with footage from Kethvar's ships. Zekthara watched the human fighters dart between Zephyrian vessels, their tactics unlike anything in the Imperial military database. These humans didn't fight for honor or glory. They fought to cause maximum damage even if it meant certain death. Analysis Officer Veltar, she said. What do you make of their fighting style? The young Zephyrian stepped forward, his scales a nervous purple color. High Admiral, their tactics are disturbing. Most species fight to win battles. These humans fight to destroy everything they can reach, regardless of their own survival. Before Zekthara could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Red lights flashed as her communications officer turned to face her, all 4 of his eyes wide with fear. High Admiral, he called out. We're receiving distress calls from the outer rim sectors. Multiple systems under attack. The signals they're not making sense. Put them through, she ordered. The first voice that came through the speakers was Admiral Rothgar from the Sentry system. His usually calm voice was filled with panic. This is Admiral Rothgar to Imperial Command. The humans, they're not just attacking our ships. They're destroying everything. The orbital shipyards, the supply depots, even the civilian hospitals. They're targeting our families, our children. This isn't warfare, this is extermination. The transmission cut to static. Another voice came through, this one from Commander Yelsha in the Draco sector. Imperial Command, we need immediate reinforcement. The humans have bypassed our military installations completely. They're bombing our breeding colonies, our nursery worlds. They're trying to wipe out our future generations. How did they even know where to find them? More voices followed, each one telling the same terrifying story. Human forces weren't just attacking military targets. They were systematically destroying everything that kept Zephyrian civilization functioning. Food production worlds, medical centers, schools, cultural sites. Everything was being targeted with surgical precision. "Hi, Admiral," her intelligence officer called out. "We're receiving detailed reports from the attacked systems. The humans seem to know exactly where our most important facilities are located. They've targeted sites that aren't even on our public records." Zekthara felt ice in her veins. "Show me the attack patterns." The main screen displayed a map of Zephyrian space. Red dots marked the systems under attack. But the pattern made no sense from a military standpoint. The humans weren't trying to capture territory or establish supply lines. They were hitting seemingly random targets across vast distances. "Wait," she said, studying the map more carefully. "These aren't random at all. They're hitting our genetic research facilities, our historical archives, our cultural centers. They're trying to erase our identity." Her science officer, an elderly Zephyrian named Kothelm, floated over on his mobility chair. His scales had turned the deep gray of extreme age and wisdom. "Hi, Admiral," he said slowly. "I've been analyzing the human attacks. I believe they're following what they call total warfare doctrine. It's not enough for them to defeat us militarily. They want to eliminate our ability to exist as a species." "That's impossible," Zekthara said. "No civilized species would attempt complete genocide. The galactic laws forbid it." "The humans never agreed to the galactic laws," Kothelm reminded her. "And I don't think they consider this genocide. I think they consider it self-defense." Before she could ask what he meant, another alarm sounded. This time it was the proximity alert. Something large was approaching Imperial Command Station. "Sensor report," she ordered. "Hi, Admiral," the sensor officer called out, his voice shaking. "One human ship approaching. It's massive. Larger than our greatest dreadnoughts. One ship? How many humans are aboard?" "Scans show approximately 50,000 life signs, Hi, Admiral." "But that's not what's frightening. The ship is broadcasting a message on all frequencies." "Put it through." The screen filled with the image of a human woman. She appeared to be in her 50s, with short gray hair and cold blue eyes. She wore a simple military uniform with no decorations except for a small badge showing planet Earth. "I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the Human Extermination Fleet," she said. Her voice was calm and matter-of-fact, as if she was discussing the weather. "You are High Admiral Zekthara of the Zephyrian Empire. We have been watching you." Zekthara felt her tentacles curl with fear. How did this human know her name? How did they know where to find Imperial Command? "Human," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "I am prepared to discuss terms for ending this conflict." Admiral Chen smiled, but it was the smile of a shark preparing to feed. "There are no terms," she said. "Your species chose to attack human colonies. Your Admiral Cathvar murdered 50,000 innocent civilians. You have declared war on humanity, very well. We accept, but surely we can negotiate," Zekthara said. "All species can find common ground." "No," Chen replied simply. "You misunderstand what's happening here. This isn't a war for territory or resources. This is a survival response. You threatened human existence, therefore you must be eliminated." The human admiral touched something off-screen and new images appeared on the display. They showed detailed maps of every Zephyrian world, complete with population centers, resource deposits, and military installations. "We have been studying your species since first contact," Chen continued. "We know where you live, how you reproduce, what you eat, how your society functions. We know the genetic markers that make you Zephyrian. We know which worlds are essential to your survival and which ones are merely convenient." Zekthara stared at the images in horror. The humans had information that should have been impossible to obtain. Medical data, genetic sequences, even the locations of secret research facilities. "How did you get this information?" she whispered. "We're very good at gathering intelligence," Chen said. "We've had teams on your worlds for months, studying you, learning about you, preparing for this moment. Did you think we would expand into space without watching our neighbors? You've been spying on us since first contact?" "Of course. Any species that could threaten humanity needed to be understood completely. We hoped it would never be necessary to use this information. You made it necessary." Chen touched another control and the display changed to show human ships throughout Zephyrian space, hundreds of them. all moving with purpose towards specific targets. These ships carry weapons designed specifically to fight your species, she said. Biological agents that target Zephyrian DNA. Quantum bombs that will make your worlds uninhabitable for millennia. Nanomachines that will break down the chemical bonds in your buildings and vehicles. This is madness, Zekthara said. You're talking about the complete destruction of our civilization. Yes, Chen agreed. That's exactly what we're talking about. When humanity is threatened, we don't just fight back. We eliminate the threat permanently. Your species will serve as an example to others who might consider attacking human worlds. The human admiral leaned forward, her eyes boring into Zekthara's. You wanted to see what humans do when pushed? Now you know. We don't conquer our enemies. We don't enslave them. We don't demand tribute from them. We erase them completely so they can never threaten us again. Please, Zekthara said, her voice breaking. There must be some way to stop this. There was, Chen replied. You could have left us alone. You chose war instead. Now face the consequences. The transmission ended. Around the bridge, Zekthara's officers stared at their instruments in stunned silence. High Admiral, the communications officer said quietly. We're receiving reports from across the Empire. Human forces are everywhere. They're not trying to capture our worlds. They're sterilizing them. Zekthara closed her eyes and tried to think. In all the Empire's history, they had never faced an enemy like this. An enemy that didn't want anything except their complete destruction. For the first time in her life, she wondered if the mighty Zephyrian Empire had finally met its match. Emperor Vashtar the Magnificent sat on his crystal throne, his golden scales dulled with worry. The imperial palace on Zephyr Prime had been built to last forever, its massive towers reaching toward the clouds. Today it felt like a tomb. Bring in the human delegation, he commanded. The throne room doors opened and 3 humans walked in. They moved with quiet confidence, their soft footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. The Emperor studied them carefully. They looked so ordinary, small, weak creatures with only 2 arms and no natural weapons. How had these beings brought the mighty Empire to its knees? The lead human was a woman with silver hair and intelligent brown eyes. She wore a simple blue uniform with no decorations except a small earth symbol on her collar. Behind her walked 2 men, one young and one old, both carrying data tablets. I am Director Martinez of the Human Diplomatic Corps, the woman said. Her voice was calm and professional. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, Your Imperial Majesty. Emperor Vashtar leaned forward on his throne. Cut the pleasantries, human. You requested this meeting. What do you want? Director Martinez smiled, but it wasn't a warm expression. We want you to understand exactly what's going to happen to your empire. She gestured to one of her companions, who activated a holographic projector. The air above the throne room floor filled with a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy. Thousands of star systems glowed like tiny jewels in the darkness. This is your empire as it existed 6 months ago, Martinez said. 2,000 star systems, 40 billion Zephyrians, the largest military force in the galaxy. The hologram changed. Many of the lights went dark while others turned red. This is your empire today. 800 systems destroyed or abandoned. 15 billion Zephyrians dead. Your military reduced by 70%. Emperor Vashtar felt his stomach turn cold. You're lying. I never lie, Martinez replied. Lying is inefficient. Would you like to see the detailed reports? The young human stepped forward and handed a data tablet to one of the Imperial guards, who passed it to the Emperor. Vashtar read the first few lines and felt his world crumble. The reports were incredibly detailed. Human forces had identified and destroyed every major Zephyrian shipyard. They had targeted genetic research facilities, wiping out centuries of biological advancement. Food production worlds had been poisoned, their soil contaminated with compounds that would take decades to clean. How? The Emperor whispered. How did you learn so much about us? We're very thorough, Martinez said. When we first made contact with your empire, we immediately began studying you. Not just your technology and military capabilities, but your biology, your psychology, your social structures. We wanted to understand exactly how your species functioned. The old human stepped forward. I'm Dr. Williams, xenobiologist. I spent 2 years living on Zephyrian worlds, studying your reproductive cycles, your nutritional needs, your genetic weaknesses. My colleagues did the same throughout your empire. You were spying on us for years? Of course, Martinez said.
Any intelligent species prepares for potential threats.
We hoped we would never need to use this information. When your Admiral Kethvar attacked our colony, that hope ended. The hologram changed again, showing detailed blueprints of Zephyrian biology. The Emperor stared in horror at the intricate diagrams of his own species' genetic structure. We know how your reproduction works, Dr. Williams explained. We know which proteins are essential for your survival, which environments you need to thrive, how your immune system functions. We've designed targeted biological weapons that will affect only Zephyrians. That's monstrous, the Emperor said, is it? Martinez asked. Your empire has conquered hundreds of species over the centuries. You've enslaved entire worlds, forced other beings to serve you, destroyed anyone who resisted. When you did it, you called it civilization. We never attempted complete genocide. No, she agreed. You preferred slavery. We find that option unacceptable. When something threatens humanity, we eliminate the threat permanently. The hologram changed once more, showing human ships moving throughout the galaxy. The Emperor could see that they weren't following any traditional military strategy. Instead, they were hitting targets that seemed random but were clearly chosen for maximum long-term damage. We're not trying to conquer your territory, Martinez explained. Territory can be retaken. We're not trying to defeat your military. Militaries can be rebuilt. We're eliminating your ability to exist as a technological civilization. She pointed to different areas of the hologram as she spoke. Your shipyards are gone. Your universities are destroyed. Your cultural centers have been erased. Your genetic research facilities are rubble. In 50 years, the surviving Zephyrians will be scattered refugees with no way to rebuild what they've lost. You're destroying an entire civilization that took millennia to build. Yes, Martinez said simply. That's the point. When you attacked our colony, you weren't just declaring war on our military. You were threatening human existence. We responded appropriately. The Emperor rose from his throne, his golden scales turning dark with rage. What kind of monsters are you? What species destroys others so completely? The kind that survives, Martinez replied. Every species in this galaxy has had to evolve survival strategies. Some species are faster, some are stronger, some are smarter. Humans are thorough. When we identify a threat, we eliminate it completely, so it can never threaten us again. But surely there's some way to stop this madness, some way to make peace. Martinez looked at him with something that might have been pity. Your Imperial Majesty, you still don't understand what's happening here. This isn't a war that can be ended with treaties or negotiations. Your species attacked ours. In our view, that means your species is fundamentally incompatible with human existence. She gestured to the hologram, which now showed human settlements spreading into former Zephyrian territory. We're not angry with you, she continued. We don't hate you. We simply can't allow you to continue existing as a spacefaring civilization. It's too dangerous for humanity. You speak of my people as if we're some kind of disease. From humanity's perspective, you are. You're a species capable of interstellar warfare that has demonstrated willingness to attack human colonies. That makes you an existential threat. Existential threats must be eliminated. The young human spoke for the first time. Your Imperial Majesty, we've prepared a detailed plan showing how the elimination process will continue. Would you like to see it? He activated another hologram. This one showed a timeline stretching into the future. Year by year, the Emperor watched as Zephyrian civilization was systematically dismantled. Phase 1 was the destruction of your military and industrial capacity, the human explained. That's mostly complete. Phase 2 is the elimination of your educational and research infrastructure. Phase 3 will target your remaining population centers. How long? The Emperor whispered. At current rates, approximately 15 years for complete elimination of Zephyrian technological civilization. Individual survivors may persist for decades longer, but they'll be scattered refugees with no ability to rebuild. Emperor Vashitar slumped back onto his throne. Why are you telling me this? Why not just kill me now? Because we want you to understand, Martinez said. We want you to know that this isn't random destruction or primitive bloodlust. This is a carefully planned response to a perceived threat. We want other species in the galaxy to learn from your example. You want other species to fear you. We want other species to leave us alone. Fear is simply the most efficient way to ensure that happens. The director stepped closer to the throne, her expression serious but not unkind. Your Imperial Majesty, you have a choice. You can spend your remaining time fighting uselessly against the inevitable, or you can help your people prepare for what's coming. We're not sadists. We don't enjoy causing suffering, but we will complete this process regardless of your cooperation. What kind of choice is that? The only choice you have left. Your empire chose to threaten humanity. Now humanity is responding with the full weight of our survival instincts. The Zephyrian Empire is ending, Your Majesty. The only question is whether it ends with dignity or in chaos. The three humans turned and walked toward the door. At the threshold, Director Martinez looked back. For what it's worth, we're sorry it came to this. But when survival is at stake, humans don't take chances. We eliminate threats completely, always. The throne room doors closed behind them, leaving Emperor Vashitar alone with the terrible knowledge of his empire's fate. Outside the palace, human ships filled the sky, already beginning the next phase of their methodical destruction. Ambassador Krelthos of the Nexari Confederacy paced nervously in his private quarters aboard the diplomatic vessel. His insect-like legs clicked against the metal floor as he moved back and forth, his compound eyes scanning the reports scattered across his desk. The news from Zephyrian space was terrifying. A soft chime indicated an incoming communication. Krelthos activated the hologram display, and the image of Supreme Chancellor Vixana appeared. Her crystalline features glowed with the deep purple light that indicated extreme concern. Ambassador, she said without preamble, what is your assessment of the human situation? Krelthos clicked his mandibles nervously. Chancellor, the reports are worse than we imagined. The humans aren't just defeating the Zephyrian Empire. They're systematically erasing it from existence. Explain. Krelthos activated his own display showing footage from Zephyrian space. The images were horrifying. Entire worlds stripped bare, space stations reduced to floating debris, and survivors fleeing in whatever ships they could find. The humans have introduced biological weapons specifically designed to target Zephyrian genetics, he said. They've poisoned agricultural worlds with compounds that will remain toxic for centuries. They've destroyed not just military targets, but museums, libraries, historical sites. Anything that preserves Zephyrian culture. Chancellor Vixana's crystalline body dimmed. This is unprecedented. Even the Devourer Wars didn't involve such complete destruction. Chancellor, there's more. We've detected human scout ships in Trillan space, Corvashi territory, and even near our own border systems. They're gathering intelligence on every major species in the galaxy. What do you think they're planning? Before Krelthos could answer, alerts began flashing throughout his ship. His communications officer's voice came through the intercom system. Ambassador, we're receiving an urgent transmission from the Trillan Hive Queen. She's requesting immediate emergency session of the Galactic Council. Put her through, Krelthos ordered. The hologram changed to show Queen Jaktar of the Trillan Hives. Her multiple arms were moving in the rapid gestures that indicated extreme agitation among her species. Ambassador Krelthos, she buzzed urgently. My intelligence drones have discovered something terrible. The humans have been studying us for years. They know our breeding cycles, our hive structures, our genetic weaknesses. They have detailed plans for our elimination. Chancellor Vixana leaned forward. Queen Jaktar, are you certain? Completely certain. My drones intercepted human communications. They have weapons designed specifically to target our species. Viral agents that would collapse our hive minds. Chemical compounds that would destroy our egg chambers. They've prepared for war against all of us. Krelthos felt his exoskeleton grow cold. But the humans have shown no aggression toward anyone except the Zephyrians, because no one else has attacked them yet, Queen Jaktar replied. But they're prepared for the possibility. They've studied every major species in the galaxy and developed plans for our elimination. The communication was interrupted by another incoming signal. This time it was General Mordock of the Corvashi war clans, his scarred face grim with concern. Fellow beings, he growled, I bring urgent news. My warriors have discovered human observation posts throughout Corvashi space. They've been watching us for months, studying our fighting techniques, our weaknesses, our strategic capabilities. This is impossible, Chancellor Vixana said. How could they have infiltrated so many different territories without being detected? They're extremely good at hiding, General Mordock replied. My best hunters only found them by accident. The humans use technology we've never seen before, devices that make them almost invisible to our sensors. Ambassador Krelthos studied the faces of the other leaders. Fear was evident in all of them. What are you suggesting? That we form an alliance against humanity? That's exactly what I'm suggesting, Queen Joktar buzzed. The humans have proven they're capable of destroying entire civilizations. We cannot face them individually. General Mordok nodded. The Korvashi war clans are ready to fight. Our warriors fear no enemy. But that's exactly the problem, Chancellor Vixana said slowly. The Zephyrians thought the same thing. They had the largest military force in the galaxy, and the humans are destroying them with methodical precision. Krelthos activated another display, showing human ship movements throughout the galaxy. Look at their deployment patterns. They're not moving randomly. Every ship, every attack, every action is part of a larger strategy we can't even comprehend. Then we need to strike first, General Mordok said. Before they're ready for us. With what? Queen Joktar asked. They've been preparing for war against us longer than we've known they existed. They have detailed knowledge of our capabilities while we know almost nothing about theirs. Chancellor Vixana's crystalline features grew brighter as she processed the implications. Wait, if they've been studying us for so long, why haven't they attacked? They could have eliminated us while we were unaware of the threat. Because they don't want to fight unnecessary wars, Krelthos realized. They only attacked the Zephyrians because the Zephyrians attacked them first. They're not conquerors. They're exterminators who only act when threatened. Then we do nothing? General Mordok snarled. We wait for them to decide we're a threat? What choice do we have? Ambassador Krelthos asked. Any aggressive action toward humanity would trigger the same response that's destroying the Zephyrians. We would be giving them justification for our elimination. The group fell silent as the terrible reality sank in. Humanity had achieved something no species had ever accomplished. They had made themselves so dangerous that other civilizations were afraid to even consider opposing them. There has to be some solution, Queen Joktar said finally. Some way to coexist with them. There is, came a new voice. The hologram flickered and changed to show a human woman. She appeared middle-aged with short brown hair and calm gray eyes. Her sudden appearance in their secure communication channel sent waves of panic through all the alien leaders. I am Director Thompson of Human External Affairs, she said politely. Please forgive the intrusion, but we've been monitoring your conversation. How did you break our encryption? Chancellor Vixana demanded. We've been studying your technology for quite some time, Director Thompson replied. We know how all your systems work. General Mordok's face twisted with rage. You've been spying on us. Of course. It would be irresponsible not to. You're all capable of interstellar warfare, which makes you potential threats to human security. We study all potential threats. Are you here to threaten us? Ambassador Krelthos asked. Director Thompson smiled, and it was a surprisingly warm expression. Quite the opposite. I'm here to offer you a solution to your current dilemma. What kind of solution? The kind that ensures your species' continued survival. You see, we don't want to destroy you. Destruction is expensive and time-consuming. We only eliminate species that threaten us. And how do we avoid being seen as threats? Queen Joktar asked. Simple. Don't threaten us. The Zephyrians attacked a human colony and killed 50,000 civilians. That was an existential threat to humanity. So we responded with existential consequences. As long as you don't attack human worlds or threaten human lives, we have no quarrel with you. But you've been preparing to destroy us anyway, General Mordok accused. We've been preparing for the possibility, Director Thompson corrected. Just as you maintain military forces in case of war, we maintain elimination protocols in case of threats. Preparation isn't the same as intention. Chancellor Vixana leaned forward. What exactly are you proposing? A simple agreement. Respect human territorial boundaries. Don't interfere with human operations and we'll coexist peacefully. Attack us and we'll eliminate you completely. It's really quite straightforward. You're asking us to submit to human dominance, Ambassador Krelthos said. I'm asking you to acknowledge reality, Director Thompson replied. Humanity has demonstrated superior strategic capabilities. The Zephyrian Empire learned too late that fighting us means extinction. You have the opportunity to learn from their mistake. And if we refuse this agreement? Director Thompson's expression didn't change, but something cold flickered in her eyes. Then you'll discover exactly how thorough our preparation has been. We know where your homeworlds are, how your governments function, what resources you need to survive. We know your genetic weaknesses and your strategic vulnerabilities. We can eliminate any of you as completely as we're eliminating the Zephyrians. The alien leaders exchanged glances. The choice was clear, even if it was terrifying. "We'll need time to consider," Chancellor Vixana said. "Of course, take all the time you need. But remember, the Zephyrians had the strongest military in the galaxy and were erasing them from existence. Don't make the mistake of thinking you can succeed where they failed." The transmission ended, leaving the alien leaders staring at empty space. "Well," Ambassador Krelthos said finally, "at least now we know what happened to the Zephyrian Empire. They met something even more dangerous than they were." Captain Zalneth of the exploration vessel Wandering Star stared at the sensor readings in disbelief. His species, the Velkari, had only recently developed faster-than-light travel, and this was their first journey beyond their home system. What they had found in the outer rim was not what anyone had expected. "Captain," his science officer called out, "I'm detecting massive debris fields in this system. The composition suggests it was once a highly advanced civilization." Zalneth moved to the science station, his elongated neck allowing him to peer over his officer's shoulder. The Velkari were tall, graceful beings with pale blue skin and large, curious eyes. They had always been explorers and scientists, driven by an insatiable desire to learn about the universe. "How old are these ruins?" he asked. "No more than 15 years, Captain. But the level of destruction is unlike anything in our databases. It's as if someone systematically dismantled an entire interstellar civilization." The ship's historian, Dr. Lamseth, approached with a data tablet in her hands. "Captain, I've been researching this region of space. According to the galactic databases we purchased from the Traders Guild, this system once belonged to something called the Zephyrian Empire." "What happened to them?" "That's what's strange, Captain. Most of the records have been deleted or corrupted, but I did find some fragmentary reports from other species. Apparently the Zephyrian Empire was one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy until about 15 years ago." Captain Zalneth's large eyes blinked slowly. "And then they simply disappeared. Every major Zephyrian world is now uninhabited. Their fleets are gone, their technology destroyed, their people scattered to the winds. Could they have been destroyed by some natural disaster? A plague, perhaps, or a stellar phenomenon?" Dr. Lamseth shook her head. "The destruction patterns are too precise, too systematic. This was deliberate." Before anyone could respond, the communications officer announced an incoming transmission. "Captain, we're being hailed by an unknown vessel. It's unlike any ship design in our databases. Put it on screen." The main display flickered to life, showing the bridge of an alien vessel. The being who appeared was unlike any species the Velkari had encountered. It had only 2 arms, smooth pinkish skin, and small eyes set in a relatively flat face. Despite its unusual appearance, the creature's expression seemed friendly. "Greetings," the alien said in perfectly clear Velkari language. "I am Captain Rodriguez of the Earth vessel Peacekeeper. We've been monitoring your ship's approach to this system. Are you experiencing any difficulties?" Captain Zalneth exchanged glances with his crew. How did this alien know their language? "Greetings, Captain Rodriguez. I am Captain Zalneth of the Velkari exploration vessel Wandering Star. We are investigating the ruins in this system. Might I ask what species you represent?" "We're humans," Captain Rodriguez replied. "This system is now under human administration. We're responsible for cleaning up the debris and ensuring safe passage for ships like yours." "Human administration?" Dr. Lamseth stepped forward. "Captain Rodriguez, our records indicate this system belonged to the Zephyrian Empire." Something flickered across the human's face, an expression too quick to interpret. "That's correct. It used to be Zephyrian territory. The Empire no longer exists. What happened to them?" Captain Zalneth asked. Captain Rodriguez was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was carefully neutral. "The Zephyrian Empire made some poor decisions regarding interstellar policy. They're no longer a factor in galactic affairs." The science officer looked up from his instruments. "Captain, I'm detecting more human ships approaching. Large vessels, heavily armed. There's no need for concern," Captain Rodriguez said quickly. "Those are cleanup ships. We're removing the remaining debris to make this system safe for peaceful travelers." Captain Zalneth studied the human's face. There was something the alien wasn't saying, something important. "Captain Rodriguez, would it be possible to speak with someone who could provide more detailed information about what happened here? My people are new to interstellar politics and we'd like to understand the situation." "Of course. Please follow my ship to the system's edge. There's someone there who can answer your questions more thoroughly." The human ships led the Velkari vessel to a massive space station orbiting the system's outer planet. It was clearly of human construction, its design both elegant and somehow ominous. As they docked, Captain Zalnith couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into something far more significant than a simple information exchange. They were escorted through corridors that seemed designed for beings much smaller than the tall Velkari. Eventually, they were brought to a conference room where a human woman waited. She appeared older than Captain Rodriguez, with gray hair and intelligent dark eyes. Her simple uniform bore no decorations except for a small emblem showing a blue and green world. "Welcome," she said, rising to greet them. "I am Director Sarah Chen of the Human Colonial Administration. Please be seated." As they settled into chairs clearly designed for human proportions, Dr. Lamseth activated her recording device. "Director Chen, we're hoping you can help us understand what happened to the Zephyrian Empire." Director Chen folded her hands on the table. "That's a complicated story. How much do you know about human history, Dr. Lamseth?" "Very little, I'm afraid. We only recently achieved interstellar flight." "Then let me provide some context. Humanity is a relatively young spacefaring species. We've only been traveling between stars for about 50 years. When we first began expanding beyond our home system, we encountered the Zephyrian Empire." "What was first contact like?" Captain Zalnith asked, peaceful initially. "We established diplomatic relations, exchanged some basic information, and began trading with border worlds. For several years, relations were cordial if not particularly close. But something changed?" Director Chen's expression grew more serious. "The Zephyrians decided that humanity should become a client species of their empire. They demanded tribute and threatened our colonies if we refused to submit to their authority." Dr. Lamseth's large eyes widened. "They tried to conquer you?" "Yes, when we refused their demands, they sent a military fleet to one of our colonies, a place called Kepler Station. They destroyed the orbital defenses and then bombarded the planet's surface. 50,000 civilians died. The Velkari delegation sat in stunned silence. Finally, Captain Zalnith spoke. "What did your people do?" "We responded," Director Chen said simply. "You fought back? We eliminated the threat to human existence. The Zephyrian Empire had demonstrated that they were willing to murder human civilians to force our submission. That made them an existential threat to our species. But surely the war didn't result in the complete destruction of their civilization?" Dr. Lamseth asked. Director Chen was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was carefully controlled. "Dr. Lamseth, there's something you need to understand about humanity. When our survival is threatened, we don't fight partial wars or seek limited victories. We eliminate threats completely." "What do you mean?" "I mean that the Zephyrian Empire attacked human colonies and killed human civilians. They demonstrated that they were fundamentally incompatible with human existence, so we made sure they could never threaten us again." Captain Zalnith felt a chill run through his body. "You destroyed their entire civilization?" "We eliminated their ability to wage interstellar warfare. Their military was destroyed, their shipyards demolished, their research facilities eliminated. The survivors were scattered to prevent them from rebuilding." That's genocide," Dr. Lamseth whispered. "No," Director Chen said firmly. "Genocide is the deliberate killing of people because of their race or species. This was a survival response. We eliminated a threat that had proven its willingness to murder human civilians." The room fell silent. Finally, Captain Zalnith asked the question that was haunting all of them. "Director Chen, are other species safe from humanity? Or will you eliminate anyone who might potentially threaten you?" Director Chen leaned back in her chair. "Captain, that's an excellent question. The answer is simple. Don't threaten human colonies or human civilians, and you have nothing to fear from us. We're not conquerors or tyrants. We're simply very, very good at protecting ourselves. But how do we know what you consider a threat? Use common sense. Don't attack human worlds. Don't try to force us into submission. Don't murder our people. Follow those basic guidelines and we can coexist peacefully." Dr. Lamseth looked up from her notes. "Director Chen, are there other species that have learned this lesson?" "Oh yes. The Nixari Confederacy, the Trillion Hives, the Korvashi war clans, they all understand the situation now. We have peaceful relations with dozens of species. The Zephyrians were unique in their decision to attack us. What advice would you give to a species like ours just beginning to explore the galaxy?" Director Chen smiled, and for the first time it seemed genuinely warm. "Be peaceful, be respectful, be honest in your dealings. The galaxy is full of wonders to discover and peoples to meet. Just remember that actions have consequences and some consequences are permanent. Thank you for watching and comment for next part.